good evening, good morning to some, good morning, good night to some, good night. We are going to tap into something a little bit more deeper, right? So, what if you are hired to set up a MC authority, except for in this case, they already have a DOT number? Got it. They already have a DOT number, so they have an existing Department of Transportation number, and they're wanting to add a MC. They're wanting to add their authority to an already existing DOT number. So what you see in front of me is the actual website that all of the magic happens. Okay, so what you're going to do here is click on the registration. You're going to go to the website www.fmcsa.dot.gov. You're going to click on the registration tab here. And when you hover, I'm going to try to bring my screen over really quickly. When you hover over the registration tab, it's going to bring you to a list of things, but what you're going to be looking for an already existing DOT. They already got the DOT, but they want to add the MC. You're going to be looking for the Update Your Registration tab. Once you click on the Update Registration tab, scroll over here. When you scroll over towards the bottom, I want you to start right here. The FMCSA online registration and updates. That's where you're going to start. If you have an already existing DOT and you have been hired to add a MC number. And so if you scroll down, ladies and gents, wives, significant others, whoever you're setting up this for, maybe even it's, you yourself, this is where you're going to start. And if you look down here, right, here's your options: new or additional registration. Okay, new or just, and you're going to click here. I need an additional operating authority to my existing USDOT number, right? So you'll click this button here. We're going to only go so far because the system will, unless you have real information in here, we can only go so far. So I'm just going to try to attempt to walk you through this. I have screen prints, screenshots to show you, but I want to go as live as much as I can, and then I'll tap over into the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, guys, what we're doing is we're trying to service our clients as best way as we know how. And so we have some people that come in and they already have an existing DOT number. And so this is different from setting up their authority, in that normally when you set up an authority, you're setting up both the DOT, the U.S. Department of Transportation number, in addition to the MC authority. So in this situation, in this scenario, a DOT number already exists, and you're just adding to the existing DOT number. You're just adding an authority, and so this is where you want to start, right? After you click there, you want to click continue. Okay, once you click continue, this is where all the private information comes into play, but you're going to click the you're going to have the USDOT number. This is where you do your due diligence before we even get started with the client. You've already collected this information, and then you're going to go over here to the USDOT personal PIN, personal identification number, which is their PIN that they would have received by mail. This is a PIN that they would have received by mail. And then you have your, if you do not, right, let's just say they do not have this PIN number, you can request this PIN number to be mailed, or you can request that it be submitted to you or to the owner through phone or through text. Okay, but everyone has this by mail. So some, if you're doing good record keeping, they still have this information. All right. So the next option is obviously the EIN or Social Security number. Social Security number for sole props. Your EIN or your federal identification number, FEIN, is going to go here. And once you click there, you're going to just go throughout the process, right? So let's just play. Like I said, this is live, and we won't we can only go so far anyway, right? So in other words, we can't go past this page without putting in like legitimate information here. So you're gonna click the motor carrier, right? If that's applicable in the scenario. If not, the owner, if he's or she not is a motor carrier, then that person could be a broker, or that person could be a freight forwarder. And so these are your options. And then here you're going to select the state, right? The state in which the business is located, and usually that's where their base state is, their base jurisdiction is. Here you're going to click whatever's appropriate. In most scenarios, or this particular scenario, it's for hire. All right, you click that. And then you want to specify whether it's interstate, intrastate, or not applicable. So we're going to go interstate. All right. And then here, if it's hazmat loads, if it's hazmat, then at that point you would click yes. If it's not, you click no. Okay. And then everything below this column is focused on hazmat. And so again, if it's no, I do not carry hazardous materials, then you don't have to select anything under the letter G. All right. And so real quickly here, you're going to determine the type, and the type is going to be based upon the weight. So if all trucks with a gross vehicle weight rate of less than 10,000 pounds, and remember, those are your cargo vans, those are your little FedEx trucks that come by, any small little trucks like that, that's what they're referring to. You're going to kind of stay right in here unless you're actually operating or setting up authority for a bus. That's what this is. If not, you're going to stay more like basically if the gross vehicle weight is over 10,000 pounds, you're going to stay right here. And so typically you'll click that button there. And then after that, you click continue, you can go to the next screen. But again, this is for if you're setting up authority for an already existing DOT number, okay, for an already existing DOT number. And so this is as far, like I showed you from the very beginning, how to get into the system, click registration, and follow those steps exactly. And I promise you, you'll be able to service your clients. Make sure you have the correct USDOT number, verify the PIN number. That's that PIN number they would have received by mail. Make sure you have the EIN. And again, we always look for what? The source document. So pull that EIN number from the actual SS4 letter. And then you come over here, you select the type of business. Generally, you're going to be dealing with the motor carrier. And then you select the state and with the location of the business, right? The location. So in some cases, that may be the same as the articles. In some cases, it's whatever the base state is. The base state, okay? Type of operation typically is going to be for hire. And then you're going to be selecting interstate, and that gives you privilege to cross state lines. And so if you're working intrastate, then you stay within the state lines. And then also here, you're going, if you're loading hazardous materials, then you say yes. If not, no. Okay, not applicable, but no, I do not carry hazardous materials. And so this system is pretty picky, so you want to click no. If the answer is no, say no. Anything that's dealing with HM, hazardous materials, that is going to be applicable. If not, you skip down to H. H is, again, describing the gross vehicle weight, which is your GVWR. And then after that, you're going to click continue. So I know for a fact it's not going to let me go any further. So I'm just going to bring you back to the presentation real quick. And so again, this is where it all starts, guys. I mean, this is your baby. This is a system that you want to get to know. This is how you would add additional income to your already bookkeeping business for truckers. This is where it's all at. Okay, so once you learn this website, yeah, it's a pretty decent website actually. They made it really user friendly, and so everything is pretty much going to happen in here. If you're setting up authority or if you're updating anything, it's going to happen here. It's going to be somewhere in here. This website is pretty decent. I'm not going to lie, it's pretty decent. So the next page is, we're going to go through basically step by step what we just did. So far, we logged into the website, we clicked on registration, we updated registration. So this is a step-by-step process. We typed in the EIN, we selected a business, and so that's everything that we just did, except for I put it in writing for you guys so you can just follow through with the actual PowerPoint. And then after that, we click continue. And that's what we just did. So that was just put step-by-step process on that slide right there. Okay, and so this next slide here is what actually the beginning step. When we selected, we specified that I need an additional operating authority, right, which is your MC, and I needed to add it to my existing USDOT number. And don't forget, guys, the USDOT number is free, right? It's free. What you're paying for, or what the cost is for the actual MC. The MC stands for the Motor Carrier Authority. Okay. All right, so let's move to the next slide. Once you click that, the next slide is going to be the same page, right? Just further along in the middle of the page. And we went through this, and these are dummy numbers. We selected the DOT number. We selected all that information, the motor carrier, and the type of operation, etc. Okay, just make sure that you have all that information, and you can validate the information with hard copies and articles and whatever you need to support that what you're putting in is accurate and true. All right, so this next slide, again, we're targeting on the hazardous materials. We're making sure that, hey, if our client is traveling or loads are consist of hazmat, then yes, that's what we're going to select. But if no, we're going to click no. Okay, not applicable. Make sure your radio dial says no. Right, let's just be really specific about that. Another thing, if it is pertaining to hazmat, then this option is column G, pertains to it. If it's not, then you want to look at the H, the letter H, and make sure this is applicable to your scenario. Okay, and again, we talked about when 8 passengers include a driver. So when they start talking about this, they're actually talking about a bus. All right. Okay, so once you click continue, they will bring you to a page like this. And so this page really is just saying that according to the information you submitted on the previous pages, this is the USDOT number for that individual or that company. This is their legal business name, and this is their physical address. And of course, I blotted it out for privacy reasons, but this is what's going to come up and basically verify that you're submitting for, that you are intending to submit for this company that pulled up. Okay, and obviously you are, because you wouldn't have the exact information inputted, right? And particularly the PIN number, because the PIN number is specific to that company, and the PIN number is really what triggers all of this information to come up. So again, once you click continue, you're going to complete the OP1 form, and at this point, actually, you're completing the OP1 form by online or by computer versus by paper. Now, if you guys looked at the previous course we did on how to set up your MC authority, we went through step by step in that course and that training on how to complete the OP1 form. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and take that OP1, that course on authority. We go over step by step how to complete that. So once you fill in the appropriate fields you verify the mailing address, you verify the DOT number, and you confirming that with the owner, of course. You're confirming the business structure, whether it's LLC, whether it's LLC, whether it's a partnership, whether it's a sole member, that type of thing, and then you click continue. Now this next slide, it's basically it's your OP1 form, but it's done online, right? This application, the OP1, is actually a paper form too. So, but here's the key: if you have the PIN number, right? If the owner is good at record keeping and he has or she has the PIN number, then all of this can be done online. Otherwise, you would submit that OP1 form by email, okay, or fax. All right. So because we do have the PIN number, we can move pretty quickly through the process. And when I say pretty quickly, I mean like same day. Okay, and so again, that's obvious information that's been submitted here. And one thing I want to show you real quickly, it's not a joke, right? Your credit card will be charged for that amount. And I told you earlier, there's no hidden fees. MC is $300, is $300, is $300, right? So the biggest part is knowing that the information that you gather is correct, because there are no refunds. There are completely no refunds. So when you've reached this point, you just click submit. And again, guys, what we're doing here is we're submitting, for those of you who just fast forwarded through the video, what we're doing here, we're submitting for MC that already had an existing DOT number, okay? And so again, I've skipped a couple of pages because, like I said, we've did the training on the how to complete the OP1 form, the actual form. And if you guys have a minute, how about you check out that training? It's going to be really informative. The how to set up an authority. That training will go over the OP1 form in there. And so that's what I did here. I completed the OP1 form, except for it was this time online. All right, the OP1 was completed online. And so finally, when you've done all that you can do, you just stand. When you've done all of your registration and everything is as it should be, of course, you're going to be generated an MC number. Now, at this point, your MC number is not active, right? Because we know there's some filings that go with this. Number one, there's a 21-day process where the FMCSA go through their processing and their approval process. And so at that point, you do have an MC, but you don't have an active MC, okay? And so if I highlighted in yellow, you have completed the OP1 application. Again, we didn't go step by step on the OP1 application because we covered that in our prior training. So you guys pick up that training, but you may begin operations only after the certificate, and I want to highlight that, right? So legally, technically, you're not supposed to put the truck on the road until after you've received this certificate. All right, okay, and everything, all the information must match exactly: the name, the company name, the business address, and everything needs to match identical, so things can run smoothly. And as always, if you have any questions, contact the FMCSA. I mean, call them. The best times to actually call them is early morning to get, some action. Otherwise, you're on extremely long wait calls. I hope you guys enjoying this course, this short little training. I wouldn't call it a course, but short little training, because what I'm trying to do is I'm actually trying to give you guys a little bit of information, just a little bit deeper, because we're always talking about setting up authorities, but we never really would never really zone in into, well, what about if a DOT number, was already set up? At that point, what happens? You know what I'm saying? At that point, this is something new. It's easy to start from brand new. It's very easy to start from brand new. But what about those small companies or those medium-sized or large companies that pretty much already have laid the groundwork, and you want to be able to help them where they are, meet them where they are. All right, and so in this scenario, you have a company that already has a DOT number and they're looking to expand, and they want to go interstate instead of intrastate. And so they're just wanting to attach their MC number to well, they're wanting to attach their DOT number, I should say, to their MC, their DOT number to the MC. All right. So again, I'm glad you guys joined. As always, it's my pleasure, and I hope you guys, if you have any questions about this, please leave the comments below. But I'm pretty sure this is pretty simple. But again, there are no dumb questions. And thank you so much, and we'll chat soon. All right. Bye bye.